What's up, RuneScapers? This is an old hardcore account that I made a while ago, and I forgot I had it. I just decided to log in and try to rush it to TOA. So we're going to see how long it takes to get to TOA on a hardcore. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the TOA hardcore rush. The first thing I did on the account was get a sardine from Garen's Fishy Business, and then I went and I got a bucket of milk from one of the cows in Lumbridge. These items are needed for the Gertrude's Cat quest, which is going to be pretty important for this account, so I decided to get that out of the way first. When you complete Gertrude's Cat, not only do you get your first kitten, but you also get the ability to raise cats, which can later be traded for death runes, which is going to be one of the ways I get a lot of spells without having to spend all my GP. Next I went and picked some berries. These are going to be useful for making dyes. One thing I just love about low-level Ironman is you just spend so much time walking around because you don't have energy pots, you don't have many teleports. So this video will be so much shorter than this actually took. I went and got some wood leaves from Weiss and the Gardener in Falador. These would also be used to make some dyes. It's one of those very click-intensive buying processes where you have to go through a whole conversation with them every time you buy them. Next I went and picked these onions. These would also be used for dyes. Bought some raw sardines at Garen's Fishy Business so I could feed my pet cats. Every time I see one of these imps, I do try to kill them. You need one of each 4 colored beads to complete the imp catcher quest. So I just hope I would get a bead. Now let's see if we got one here. We did not. I went and got all my dyes made. This is again a pretty click intensive process. Just going through this conversation with the witch who makes them. Next, I went to do Goblin Diplomacy, one of the quests I needed dye for. You also need 3 goblin males, but you can get them during the quest by just searching these boxes around the village. So don't waste your time killing goblins, you can just get the goblin male for free. Completing Goblin Diplomacy gave me some nice crafting XP, which is good early level, but it also is a requirement for the next quest I needed to do. I took my free minigame telly to Castle Wars, ran east past these ogres, and through Yanil, and to this lit candle spawn at the watchtower, because I was going to need a candle for a light source on this next quest. I then took my free home telly back to Lumbridge and started the Lost Tribe quest. Now, the reason I was doing the Lost Tribe is because this quest awards you with a Ring of Life. And this would become a stable piece of equipment for me as a hardcore Ironman if I ever disconnect. The Ring of Life has a chance of protecting me. Next, I got my best gear out of the bank and headed towards Tavern the Dungeon. And the reason I come here is for these Chaos Druids. Not only do these guys drop a lot of herbs, but they also drop law runes. And I am going to need a lot of law runes to teleport for early quests. Next, I went and started Treenome Village, where you have to fight this Khazard warlord. Fortunately, I found this way to sort of get him backed into this corner, like this other person was doing, and he's not able to attack me there, so you're just able to safely kill this boss. This quest gives a huge amount of attack XP, which is like the main reason for early questing. You want to get as much combat experience as you can, and then you don't have to waste your time training those early levels when the XP is really slow. Next I went and did Fight Arena, which has some pretty scary looking bosses, but you just trap them on this skeleton and they can't touch you at all. This is another one of those quests that gives you just a ton of combat XP. This time it's attack. You do also get some nice thieving XP. I wanted to complete the Ardoin Easy Diary, so I was trying to get a rusted sword, which you get from killing these ham members. I actually had to stay and kill these things for a really long time. Went and turned in my rusted sword. Then I went to the Gnome Stronghold and went to Hudo's shop to buy some chocolate dust and some dwellberries. Pretty often I would have to go to shops to buy things for this account, so I'm not always going to show some of the stuff I buy from shops. It's just not the most interesting. I then went and completed the Plague City quest. This is a very important one in a series of quests I would have to do. Next, I went and completed the Biohazard quest, and this was pretty big because this gives me access to West Ardoin, so now I could go and sell my cats for death runes. Next, I went and did some quick magic training just on some Valdor guards so I could get 43, drink a Wizard Mind Bomb, and teleport to Camelot. This teleport put me right next to the Merlin's Crystal quest, which I did because it was important for the next quest I needed to do. Completed Holy Grail quest because that gives a huge amount of prayer and defense XP. I then went and acquired this Dusty Key so that it could unlock this Blue Dragon spot here where there is a safe spot, so I can just safely mage these Blue Dragons. I went and did some wood cutting and some fire making to get 30 fire making. And the reason I did this was so that I could do the Seasug quest, because this would give me some really easy fishing experience and I could pretty much skip all those slow, low-level fishing training moments. I then went and thieved some cakes. This is one of the better sources of food you're going to get on a low-level Iron Man. These do heal 12 each, even though it is in 3 bites. Next I was doing the Desert Easy Diary, and it's got this step where you have to pick up a potato cactus, which spawns with these pretty high-level Calphite soldiers, so this was a little bit sketchy, but I did make it out alive. And there fortunately is a very easy way to get this achievement where you just drop the one potato cactus you picked up and you pick it up 5 times, so it counts as picking up 5 of them. Completed the Desert Easy Diary. The main reason I was doing these was for the prayer XP from the reward lamp. I do need 43 prayer as soon as possible. Next I completed the Lumberjack Drainer Easy Diary. Not only did that give me another XP lamp for prayer, but it also gave me the Explorer's Ring, which is a pretty useful early game item. I had a couple of rune chains, so I sold them to this shop in West Ardoin where they pay you pretty close to high elk price for your items, so if you're not high enough level to high elk, but you need some money, you can sell some weapons or armor here. I took those dragon bones from earlier and went to the Ectofunctus. Pretty much I just needed some Ecto tokens, the reward you get for grinding and using bones here, so that I could do a quest. So I went ahead and completed Ghost Ahoy. This gives a good amount of prayer XP, but it also gives you the Ecto File, which is a really good teleport. Traded in a quick cat for some death runes. Next I went back to that safe spot in Towerly Dungeon and killed 50 something more dragons. Completed Murder Mystery Quest. This is a good way to get some early crafting experience. Used up all those dragon bones and got myself 43 prayer. This is huge because this unlocks protect from melee, so now I can protect from all types of combat and complete harder quests. Next I went to my favorite fishing spot in the game, aka the Shrimp and Parrot in Brimhaven. This is a shop where you can just buy swordfish, lobsters, and carambons, which are pretty decent, like near end game level food, especially the carambons. So this is a great way if you have GP to stock up on some food. I hopped quite a few servers at this super anti-poison 1-dose spawn north of Castle Wars. I just kept grabbing this thing, and then eventually I combined them all, and this was a quick way to get all the anti-poison I was going to need for this account. Next I went and completed Jungle Potion. This is a requirement for Shadow Village, and it also gave me some Herblore XP. Next I had to kill some dwarves for iron bars. You need 2 iron bars to do the Night Sword quest. Went and turned in another cat for death runes. I completed Knight's Sword, which gives a huge amount of smithing XP, and that made so that I could create the Bronze Wire, which is needed for Shallow Village. I had this issue where I was not wearing the Beads of the Dead when I entered this dungeon, and I'd never seen this before, but I thought I was gonna die because they started attacking and there's like these dialogue boxes popping up, and my teleport just wasn't working. But it did let me out eventually, so it was okay. I completed Shallow Village, which was the last quest requirement for one small favor. Next, I completed the Shades of Morton quest. This one gives quite a bit of crafting, but also some Herblore XP, so it's a very useful one to get done early. Killed some unicorns for horns, and bought some chocolate dust from the Gnome Stronghold so I could train my Herblore up, which got to about 26. I went back and killed a bunch more of these Chaos Druids so that I could train my Herblore again, and eventually hit my goal of 30 Herblore. I wanted 30 Herblore before I did one small favor, which is this quest where you pretty much go from NPC to NPC all over the map, and just to complete this favor you're doing for the first guy, but then everybody to do that favor needs a favor. It's just a really long quest. You fight this rock monster, and then finally you get to the end, and this guy gives you 2 XP lamps. And each of these XP lamps gives you 10,000 to any skill over 30. So I got 30 Herblore so that I could use those lamps on Herblore and just get me boosted all the way to 38, which is all I will need for this account because I can make prayer potions. I went and picked up a bunch of snape grass from these hobgoblins and then made prayer potions, which meant that I would be able to do harder quests now, like Monkey Madness, where I would need to have overhead prayers on a lot of the time. The boss to Monkey Madness is this demon, and thank God I had prayer potions because it is a really long fight, and he would have smoked me without him. Completing Monkey Madness gives you 10,000 coins, but also you can talk to Darrow and get a ton of combat experience, and it unlocks this shop where you can safely buy law runes, and on top of all that, I can come back here later and buy a Dragon Scimitar. I decided to train my range, but starting at level 1, you just hit nothing but zeros, so I go to do the Lighthouse quest, and I actually almost took a death from this Dagonist mother. I had to teleport here, but I did come back and kill it, and managed to complete the quest, which gives me quite a bit of range XP, so that was nice because it skipped some of those slow range levels. I killed crabs for a bit to get the range level I needed to do Underground Pass. Now, Underground Pass is one of the longest, most grueling quests to a lot of RuneScape players, where you struggle through this long underground tunnel. There's tons of things that attack you. There's these obstacles where if you fall down and fail, you have to repeat them over and over. So this quest just takes hours and hours. Finishing Underground Pass gives you the Ivan Blast spell, which is the best spell I'd be using on this character. The reason I was turning in these cats for death runes. So once I unlocked that, I went and completed Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer awards a lot of defense XP, and it also gives you the ability to equip Rune Plate bodies and Green Dragon Hide bodies. Next, I went and got 18 Slayer and completed the Ernest the Chicken quest. These were both requirements so that I could do Animal Magnetism, which would give me the backpack that picks up my arrows, so that's kind of a big item. Next, I went and trained a little bit more ranged, and then I went and did this clue scroll, which turned out to pay off because I got this Amulet of Power and a U shortbow. The U shortbow made training range a lot faster, and the Amulet of Power was just the best amulet I had on this account. Went and made some quick GP at the Agility Pyramid, and then I went and spent that GP on a green D'hide body. Next I went and completed Prince Ali Rescue, which is one of the quests you need to get to TOA. I went and completed the fucking Temple of Ikov quest. Forgot the name of that one. Then I went and did some Slayer, and after that I caught these rock heron blungies. Now, these are a stackable fish, which you can't yourself eat, but you can use them to feed your cat. So I was able to just catch like 100 of these. Next, I was on the hunt, and I had no reason to hunt, but for some reason, I thought I was supposed to do desert treasure, and so I was going to my hunter up to get magic logs. I actually grinded it all the way to 58. This wasted like half of an entire day. I went and completed Lost City. This is an important quest because we needed to get the Dragon Dagger, which is an important special attack weapon in TOA. Ranged a quick Hill Giant Slayer task. Then I went back to Last Man Standing, which was honestly quite a bit of fun. I really liked this minigame. And got some rune arrows, which were just much better for training range than the bone crossbow. Now, eventually I decided Slayer was not going to be the best way to get my combat stats on this account, so I completed Bon Voyage, which unlocks this powerhouse training spot known as Ammonite Crabs, where you can just pretty much click once every 10 minutes, and your character will just keep attacking these crabs as they spawn. Went and got my upgraded accumulator. Then I grinded some cash and some agility XP at the agility pair, and grinded some more LMS for rune arrows, and returned to my home at the Ammonite Crabs. What followed was an extremely long grind at Crabs. While my count was just auto-retaliating, you can see I was practicing some TOA in the corner there. I got 61 ranged, and then we switched to the Rune Scimitar and started training attack until we got 60 attack. And this allowed me to equip a D-Simi, so I went and grabbed one of those from the shop on Apatoll, and we got right back to training. Eventually I hit 65 strength, which was the most I was going to need on this account, so I went to take a break. I did some crafting. Did yet another grind at the agility pyramid so that I could afford to buy myself a ring plate body. And then I went and trained up my wood cutting and my fire making a bit. I do need 55 fire making for the quest so I can even get to TOA. Completed the Fremnik Trials quest. This one was good because it unlocked me some nice helmets, which was going to make TOA and the quests up to it a lot easier. Next, I got to return to Crabs to grind out 65 attack, which would be the last combat level I had to grind out. And this was the requirement so that I could get into the Warriors Guild. Warriors Guild has, first of all, this nice food shop where I can just hop worlds and buy these potatoes, but it also has the Defenders. So pretty much you have to kill these Cyclops, and they have a 1 in 50 drop rate at these Defenders. I actually got really lucky. I got all 6 of them in just 150 kills, and then the Dragon Defender, which is from a higher level Cyclops, I think it was less than 100 kills. It really wasn't too bad. So the account was officially looking pretty powerful. Then I grinded out 60 defense, and next came a part that I had to do off stream. I cut up some of my red topaz, mined some silver, and then made these red topaz amulets, paid 200,000 coins to upgrade my staff with Ivan, and then teleported into the wilderness. For those of you who don't know, the wilderness is a dangerous area. This is where other players can attack you, which is why I was doing this off stream. I had to go and kill this crazy archaeologist, sort of mini-boss guy. He has a 1 in 25 chance at dropping the rune crossbow. So I started out only doing 1 kill per trip. I would just kind of run out here and teleport as soon as I got the kill. But I ended up having this strategy where I'd wait in this little spot with the trees, and if I figured I would see somebody, I could just teleport pretty easily. So I ended up doing more kills per trip, and I went a bit over drop rate, but I did eventually get this rune crossbow, which was going to be the best range weapon I have on this account. Grinded out 55 crafting, as this was a requirement for the quest for TOA. Luckily I bought all the glass supplies off shops, so this only took a few hours. I did also grind out some extra dragon bones. I wanted to get 44 prayer for Eagle Eye. That would just make me a little bit stronger at TOA. Unfortunately, I didn't get a mithril axe at blue dragon, so I had to call these teaks with a steel axe, but I got 50 fire making, which unlocked Winter Toad, where I got 55 fire making really fast, and that was one of the last requirements I needed for TOA. Finished up 62 agility, and that was it. I had all the requirements. There were a couple of quests that I needed to do leading up to TOA, and this is when I decided to turn my cam and mic on, because I thought things might get interesting, and I was right.
Oh wait, dude, literally you don't have to dodge this shit. This whole time, bro. Whoa, what a package. Boom. Don't touch me. You can't do shit, bro. Might be fucked here if it doesn't die soon. It's a panic telly, but I don't think I was gonna make it. Oh god, I'm out of prayer. We need to kill him right now. Please just hit. Please just hit. Fuck, dude. Oh god. Fuck, dude.
Well, that was it. The hardcore did not make it to TOA. We were so close. There's one more boss fight after this. You know, I just fucked up. I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I'm not upset. I had a ton of fun making this account. I learned a lot. I did a lot of different things that I wouldn't have done otherwise. And, I don't know if I would ever retry this again, but if I did, I know I could do it a lot faster. And so maybe something to consider in the future. But the good news is, if you do like hardcore Iron Man stuff, I do still have my main hardcore, who I'm killing Corporal Beast on right now, doing a lot of bosses. So definitely check that out. Check out my Twitch. Thank you so much for watching.